Hey guys, good evening. Can you just quickly put on your cam and say hi to ma'am for a second? She's coming all the way from Singapore. Now I'm the background. What you see, Nandhini, is the
new campus.
Andhra campus. Yeah.
Wow.
So you can have a look at it.
I feel so old. This did not exist when I was studying.
It was not there. Yeah.
No,
We started in 2017, 16 I came, but 17 forward. Let me just stop the spotlights. Let's see all the people in gallery. Okay, there you go. There's Varadini, there's Lahiri, there's Abhijit Bose sitting in the US, Bridge in India somewhere. Okay, yeah, Abhijit. Okay, it's a mix, Nandhini. It's a mix of BBA, BCom, engineering, law, and especially the startup management. Okay, and that's a mix about it. What I'll do is I'll just share your profile for them a little bit in a minute, and then it's a very short 25, 30 minutes by you, and then 10 minutes questions, and 7:15, 7:20, we are out. Okay, this is from Singapore. You will go back to bed, and then already my friends are awake in US, just got up. They're ready for a session. Next is the US, a speaker from, and that's for, she's a Council Journal, Indian Foreign Services. Nice. So good. So we're getting a blend of both East, West, everywhere. Okay, let me quickly share. Tell me if I'm on the right screen. Nandhini, about your LinkedIn. Yeah, I guess this is the right one, right?
Yep, that's me.
Okay, so guys, let me just go from the beginning. I still remember Nandhini doing MBA in VIT Vellore in 2009 and 11. Am I right? 9/11?
9/11. Wow. Yes.
Graduated in, yeah. Okay, so this is about her. You can see here she's a BE engineering student in ECE. All right, in 2004-8, and then she had a work experience, and then joined in 2009-11 at VIT Vellore. That's where we were fortunate to take a batch for you, right? I think so. I had to one course.
Yeah.
Then she went on to do a work experience, and then also did a Indian School of Business. So an engineering, an MBA, and then again super specialization in marketing at ISB, right? So you can see there all of work experiences. There's so much to go, but I'll put her entire LinkedIn to you guys, right from a TCS experience of 4 years almost, and then Microsoft, and then went on to Singapore, and then always she is passionate about doing something. She now is a co-founder of an organization called FEMCY, which all the women should be proud of, VIT alumni. And yeah, so she's all about health, wellness, and women safety and health. So that's a website. Are we on the right website?
Yep, this is still us, yes.
Yeah, so this is the website, FEMCY. It's a very new startup. She sits in Singapore now. It's 9 p.m. for her, and then it's 6:30 for us. So I don't want to take much through it. It's better that, the founder, co-founder itself takes it through. In the meanwhile, I'll put all the LinkedIn and everything. So let me stop right over here. And yeah, spotlight 2, and then spotlight. So after how many years are we meeting? Almost 11?
I think, wow, yeah.
Times in between, but 10, 11 years after graduation?
Yes. So 11, this is 11 years pretty much exactly.
Well,
so okay, yes, thank you, Sam. Now everybody knows my age. Don't do the maths, everybody. So yeah, but yes, it's been a long journey, and honestly not connected to healthcare at all, but that's what we believe in at FEMCY, right? That everybody should know about your health. You should be able to take ownership of your health. You should know what's happening to you so that you know when you need to reach out to a doctor for, support. So that's what we've been doing. And I think, Sam, in keeping with, the class that you mentioned, which is basically lean startup management, I'm going to tell everybody the story of how we started off very lean, bootstrap startup, then how we, how our journey was, etc. If it turns out to be a bit of a curriculum revision, my apologies. I will try to add my, I will tell my story, and I think it will become a curriculum revision as it is. And can I share my screen? I have,
Sure. Yeah. What I'll do is just give me a sec. I have to make you the co-host.
Yep.
Yeah. Now you have the right. Can you see that?
I think I should. Let me just check.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, guys. If I make slides, I'm serious, because the job of a startup founder, among other things, is
Full
unfortunately,
screen.
making slides. So
Full screen.
I'm just moving this out of the way so I can see somebody's face while I'm presenting. And yeah, so this is it. How I kept it lean with my startup, and basically what I learned, what I thought about from the day I said, okay, here's my big idea, until, anything I've learned. And this is going to be my story. And let's see if it's of use to you. So it all started out, right? So everybody has a big idea. So then, we also were thinking about how, period trackers existed. And I was doing a lot of reading about basically, about how PMS is something that happens to every menstruating person. And I think 3 in 4 women, or even more than that, are aware of this, that this happens to them every month. All of us are said, this is a part of being, the female experience, etc. No one thinks, what can I actually do? There is so much that we also do, right? So then, there is the painkillers, there is the tea, there is the haldi, doodh, whatever, so many things are there. There's a lot of science. So then when I heard that there is a lot of science coming up in this area, I had a big idea, right? So then like, there's something that we can do here, etc. But that's it. We all have n number of ideas. And I know that if you are in this class, you probably have an idea or two. Maybe you even had, an ideation exercise, a brainstorming exercise, etc. as part of the class. So yeah, so we have that idea. So then, what next? And that's what, I also have. So I'll tell you this. I've had 3 big ideas till date. The first one was basically, so I like to bake. So I wanted to start a cupcake shop, basically like Magnolia Bakery. This was a very big deal when you all were still kids. We're back in like 2009, etc. Cupcake shops were like all the rage in India, right? It was coming from New York. It was a great trend. Everyone wanted to do it. I also wanted to do it. I had no idea. I didn't know how to get started. Everybody else did it. There was a cupcake shop in every street. The end, right? Nothing happened. So that idea passed me by, other people executed, etc. The second big idea I had was, basically a soup and salad cafe. As you can see, I'm very passionate about food. So again, there was an idea. This time I actually went out, I built a menu, I tried out recipes. So I was basically your average, I was acting like a tech founder. So I was looking at the technology of the things. I was not looking at the business side of things. Never got around to implementing any of it, executing any of it, but I had fleshed out a great idea. Great. So then again, I didn't act. So this time when I had an idea, I was very keen as to, I need to do something about it. So then what should you do, right? The first thing that you start is, does this idea even exist out of my head? Is anybody else thinking the way I do? So I started off, so I did it the right way. So I joined an incubator program. So then the first thing we did was, we were doing surveys, we were brainstorming, we were running focus groups to understand if strangers, not my friends and family, complete strangers, have this problem, and would this be the right solution for them? So first we did surveys, we did focus groups, then we started a social media handle in order to test the concept, in order to reach out to other people and see if there is traction, see if we are gaining followers for the concept that we are promoting. At this time, we're still talking about concept. There is no idea or anything like that. And of course, I was doing Google search. I was looking at who else were the competitors, because let me tell you this, it's very great to have a unique idea, but it's also very difficult to communicate that to your customers, and to tell them that here is your problem, here is the solution that will solve your problem, and you need to pay me for it. These are the 3 things that you need to convince them, right? Like, you have a problem, this is the solution, you need to pay for it. And it's really hard to do that initially. So first of all, it may be a problem that they are not aware of. Like, before Facebook or Some things existed before that. There was Orkut, there was MySpace, which was even before my time. Did people really know that they were not connected to other people? Everybody thought they were connected. Everybody had a phone. We were very connected. Everybody had a mobile even. But this concept, right, the way that we are connected to everybody on social media, on Twitter, etc., that was first, something that you need to tell them. You're not connected. You need to talk to everybody in the world. You need to have a forum to broadcast. Then you have to say, this is the solution. And as far as monetization goes, well, I don't know how successful Twitter has been. Facebook has gotten somewhere with monetization and comes with its own share of problems, right? So then it's really hard to be the first mover. That's what I'm trying to say. Facebook had it easy because Orkut was before it. Orkut had it easy because MySpace was before it. MySpace had it easy because at least Twitter had come out to say, this is how a person reaches out to everybody else. So before that, there were blogs, To be the first person to do anything is really hard. So that's why it's always useful to search on the internet and see, if you have any competitors. We were lucky. So there was an app called Clue, which had done a lot of the heavy lifting. It was the first period tracker, came out in 2013, created this category called femtech, which is basically female technology, like female health technology. So, anything from periods to fertility to parenting to pregnancy, you name it, all of these, that whole category started with Clue in 2013. So basically they were using technology to solve these women's health problems. So it made it a lot easy because people were aware period trackers are hopefully common, but at least they are very common in the West. They're getting more common in India. So this is what we did to get validation. So we asked people near us, around us through surveys. We asked strangers on social media. We saw if other people had also been doing something, if they had made some progress with strangers. So that was basically our step 2. So I had a great idea. I've gone and seen if there is a problem, but there were other things that we needed to do, right? So then that was number 3. So is there money in this, right? So then here is an idea. I think other people also have this problem. They think that this solution will work, but will they pay me for it? So what kind of money will this idea make? How will it scale? And, basically, is there a business model here? I am pretty sure you guys must have had some very difficult business modeling exercises, knowing how Sam runs his classes. But let me talk to you about 2 different kinds of ideas, right? The one is, say, a lifestyle business, which is basically this thing on the left here, right? So you start, what if, say, you're starting let's go with, something like a restaurant, or what if you're an artist? What if you're, starting a tailoring shop, etc. So you have one tailoring shop or you have one restaurant, it makes you some money. There is a profit, there is a cost, there is a profit margin, whatever. You start another restaurant, you grow a little more. You have 10 restaurants, you get to a certain scale. You get 20 restaurants, you get to a certain scale. So basically, this is a linear model, right? So where basically one restaurant makes you 100 rupees, 10 restaurants will make you 1,000 rupees, 10,000 restaurants will make you what? 10,000 times 100 rupees, whatever that number is, 1,000,000 rupees. That's one kind. The other kind is basically what they call hyper growth, or the kind of businesses that we read about, that, we say unicorns, etc. That's the other kind. This is the kind that we generally refer to as a startup, right? So initially, maybe you won't make money. Assume, for example, say Facebook, right? Or Tinder, if you guys are on Tinder, which was before my time. But so basically, if I have 3 people that want to date and 3 people that are looking for somebody to date on the other side, is there any scale there? Can I even make money? Can I tell them you need to pay for Tinder premium so that your profile will be featured to these other 3 people? Not really. So you need to have like 1 million people here and 1 million people here, and they all want to meet each other. That's when you're actually able to make a business out of it. So Tinder or Facebook or anybody as a business won't exist with 10 people or even 100 people. So it can only be done at scale. Or maybe if you're doing, say, a pharma company, or maybe you're doing a windmill making company, you can't do that at a small scale. You need to grow at a certain level. So initially you will build your big factory. You will already be in loss before your first product is launched. But the moment your factory starts throwing out, products, you will generate, I don't know, like if you start a pharma factory, you will generate, I don't know, like 100,000 SKUs, and you will immediately start making the big bucks, right? And so then you will start to grow exponentially. So that kind of business, a hyperscale business, that's the kind of business that when you talk about VCs, venture capital, when you talk about going public, etc., usually that's the kind of business that they have in mind. That's not to say that a linear business model is bad for you. Take the case of McDonald's or Chanel or Global Desi or Anita Dongre, you name the kind of people, right? Even in fashion, even in the restaurant industry, Yum Foods, they all had a linear model too, but they made it repeatable and they were able to grow and scale really quickly. But this one that I talked to you here, right? Does this look like anything to you? Like a hockey stick, maybe? This hockey stick curve, this hyper growth is what the investor community is after, right? And your business model and the way you scale technically needs to look more like this if you want to raise funds. You can have a linear business model, but mostly you will have to grow slowly. Out of your own profits, you will build a second restaurant. Out of your own profit, you will build a third restaurant. Maybe you will build a franchise model. But, so basically you will grow slowly, steadily, linearly, whereas with a hockey stick model, the goal is take some initial losses, but then you will grow really quickly. That was our goal with FEMCY also, right? So then our goal was always that we are building the tech. We are building an engine whereby, say, technology or a AI-based recommendation engine will be able to understand users' symptoms and will be able to offer solutions. So the moment I have that technology perfected, initially it's taken me some time to get the technology perfected, but the moment the app is ready, 1 million users, 5 million users, 10 million users across India, across Southeast Asia, all of these people can use the app and ta-da-da, I'm going to like make a premium model, whatever it is, and I'm going to start making money, right? So that's what we were also thinking, and that's how we had built our business model. Okay, great. So then I built a business model. I asked for people. They all said, yes, I will pay, etc. And then how do I get started, right? I'm still at the point where I was thinking about soup and salad cafe. I've built a great idea in my head. How do I get started? Where's the money? Who's giving me the money? How do I, put the pedal to the metal? How do I move from zero onwards? So the first thing basically is, even before you incorporate the company, you have done these 3 steps, right? So basically you have said, hello, I have an idea. You went and asked a few people. Already at this point, you're spending a little bit of money, right? Maybe you're using a free tool to do the survey. Maybe you're telling people, come to my focus group, I'll give you 100 rupees Amazon voucher. Maybe you're spending a little bit on boosting your social media posts, etc. Right? So there's a little bit of money that you're spending, but hey, still your pocket money. You spend it how you like it, right? But then now the time has come to, I've decided I'm going to make this app. I'm going to get started. I'm going to have this, I'm going to go down this little path, right? So then how do I get started? So what we did, we bootstrapped. What is bootstrapping? Bootstrapping is when the founders put in their own money. So I had a co-founder. We all got together. We put some money from our own pocket. We built the app and we started to show some results. So basically, for each of these steps to happen, there is usually like a hurdle, if you will, a milestone that you have to cross. Bootstrapping, no milestone. You have to be ready to open your pocket. That's what we did. We opened our pocket. Now, you guys, you are very lucky to be at VIT. Even when we were there were a lot of grants and college offers a lot of support, right? For you to build, you have access to labs where you can build the app. You have obviously access to professors who can help you with validation, with making sure that you're asking the right questions, thinking of your strategy the right way. And I'm pretty sure you have grant programs also where your college will say, here is a lakh of rupees or something. Use this, go out there, get your solution ready. And, so basically you will get to one point, you will build the prototype maybe, and you'll maybe start, getting your first users, you'll start showing, maybe you'll generate a little bit of money if you're very lucky. So for getting a grant, what do you need? Usually you'll need a business plan. You'll need to show some degree of validation. Basically, you'll need to do these things that came out of your pocket money, right? So you will do these things in order to show that there is something here. You will present it to your college, you will present it to maybe your review board or something like that. They'll give you a grant. Now we are not in college. I did not think to come back to VIT to do this. I did not go for the grant system. What I did was I put in my own money. I got started. I built the app. It was still in closed beta. I was, basically I had shown that I had some initial users. I had some users on social media. I think I had 300 or 400 users at that time. Then this is still very early stage, right? There is still no money. I'm not making any revenues. By the way, I'm still not making any revenues. We'll talk about that later. Okay. But yeah, so basically, so we had gotten some way. So there was some interest that we were able to show that there was a need in the market. So then we said, I'm going to angel investors. Who are angel investors? Angel investors are people like me or, the other people that you will meet later. Basically, your college alums, people who are in the field. For me, it was people who are in the field of medical and menstrual health, basically doctors, activists who were all interested in this area. They knew that there was a problem. They were looking to put their money and help the right people to make the right solution. So we reached out to these angels. We raised a small angel round. And so we raised a small angel round. Then what happened? Okay, this thing is not clear to you guys because I missed this arrow. So now you should be able to see the arrow. So this is what we did. We raised a small angel round. Then this gives you some money, right? It's not just out of your pocket. It's not just a very small amount of money. These are rich people. They're influential people. They will be able to give you a small amount of money. Hopefully this is not going to go out of this place anywhere. So we raised a few $100,000 USD. We did not raise, in exchange for equity. Usually you do this in 2 or 3 different ways. One is you say, okay, I'll give you you give me $100,000. I will give you 10% equity or 5% equity, whatever it is, right? There is a question of valuation and all that. So that is one way that people raise money. So I say, my business is worth $1 million. So you give me 100,000 for 10%. I will give you 10%. You give me 100,000 because my whole business is worth 1 million today. So we decide that that is the value of my business. And so then we do a priced equity round. That's one way of raising money. Another way is by saying, you give me money later when we are ready, when we have shown that there is some potential here, when we have shown some results, we will all together go and we will raise money from richer people like these guys. Who are these guys? They are usually your VCs, basically your venture capital or your private equity, basically people who are able to invest bigger firms. They are companies that invest in startups for returns, right? So they will invest a big sum of money. Maybe they'll invest 1 or 2 billion with you in exchange for some amount of equity. At that time, these angels who had come earlier, right? So they will also get a significant sum of money, or basically the value of the business will rise. If I said my business is worth 1 million today to this angel, these VCs will say, I'm giving you 1 million. Your business is worth 10 million or 100 million, my friend. So basically that's what means when you raise at a certain valuation, right? These VCs will usually determine the valuation. At this time, there is no escaping the valuation. They will, they will evaluate your business. They will ascertain a value to it so that they know how much percentage of your business to take from you in shares, how many shares to take from you when they give you the money. And at that time, these guys would have invested, right? They got 10% earlier when I was very small. So then when the business grows, their share of the pie also will grow bigger. Some of these guys will exit at that time. Some of these people will stick around still. They will get richer on paper. They will still stick around, right? So this is our next step. This is what we're trying to do right now. So we are trying to raise a VC, a priced round. Basically, we're trying to raise money from VCs. And generally what happens, this is called, a grant. This is called an angel round. This is called an institutional round. This would be either a seed round or a series A, series B, C, D, E, F, you name it, there is no end, right? People keep on raising round after round. Each time the valuation gets larger, they raise more money as their business becomes bigger, it's worth more. multi-million dollar business, unicorn valuation, right? Which is what billion is it? I forget what a unicorn is. But yeah, so basically you become a unicorn, etc. Or some people never become unicorns. Even before that, they have strong fundamentals. They are showing results. They are generating profit. They will go and become IPO, right? So they list in the stock market, which is basically everybody is an angel then, right? You are an angel. I am an angel. Everybody that's buying stock from your company technically is investing small sums of money, and they all get value in return. So this is the story. But what is the first step? The first step is either you put your own money or you make a business plan and you go out there and you get a grant so that you can start building. So great. You either got some money out of your wallet or you built a business plan. You have gotten started. What's next? So what are you doing? Why have you gotten started? You've gotten started to prove that your big idea, right? Your hypothesis is true. So I said, people want natural solutions to menstrual issues. They don't want to suffer with PMS. They want to solve their PCOS or whatever it is. So how did I get started with proving that, right? So the first thing is, so with my bootstrap money, I told you that I started building an app. So I started to build a prototype. We are never done building our product, right? It's never 100% amazing. Even Amazon today is constantly launching new features, etc., right? Facebook, for example, you saw that they launched some add yours feature on Instagram if you're active on social media, etc., right? So then this is a prototype. What we have built right now is just the first version of things. So we did that. We built a prototype. We took it to market. We launched it. We launched it in August, and then we started to get some users. We started to retain some users. We started to make our first revenues. Basically, what revenues did we start to make? Some small revenues we started to make. So that's kind of, what we did. We started to retain some users. Now, what did we learn from these users? That's what's most important, right? So then, have I even learned anything from these users? And based on that, what am I going to do? I'm going to make my product better. I will iterate my product and make it better. Or if my users told me your product is absolute junk, I will never pay for this, what will I do? I will pivot. I will say, okay, so you don't want that. What do you want? I will pivot my company to do something else. So you have menstrual issues, but my solution is not the right solution. Okay, I will change my solution. I will pivot to a different solution. So then you will pivot, right? Or you may diversify. They'll say, I like your solution, but I need this also. So then you will diversify. You will say, I will not just be an app. I will also be, consultation, or I will be e-commerce, whatever, right? You will keep changing you will add other solutions to what you have already built, or you will scale. They love you. You need to reach more people just like them. You need to start retaining more people just like them, and you will scale. But first, right, when you start prototyping, what are the ways that you can prototype? Will you immediately say, here is the app, people of the world, use it, right? That's not how you do it. How did Facebook start, if you remember? Facebook was first, the Facebook. If you've seen the movie, they were initially only in one college. Then they started to go to 2, 3, 4 colleges. Basically, it was like a closed beta. Then it became an open beta. All of this was happening a long time before it even became public. What's the advantage? Why should I just not launch to the world? One way is, when I'm proving my hypothesis, it is very hard for me to become suddenly valid to all the people of the world. Say, teenagers, women who are trying to have a baby, women who have babies, people who are doing menopause. Can I really make sense to both somebody who is a Gen Z as well as somebody who's a boomer at the same time? Not really, right? You want to build for a specific audience, a specific problem. You need to be able to solve one person's problem first, or a target segment's or problem first. So that's why you will start with a closed set, so that you will understand their need, you will solve their need. That way you will be able to retain them better, and then you will target the next person, right? So first I will solve PMS, then I will solve menopause, then I will solve, pregnancy. And it's not that simple, right? Even within PMS, there are multiple different types. Even within, menopause, there is early menopause, there is late menopause. And pregnancy is not just one thing. There are many problems associated with pregnancy. So you will start little by little. You will not eat the whole thali at the same time. You will take one bite by one bite and you will solve. That way, you will be able to retain your users better because they will be, basically they like what you build. They will trust you. So you will be able to build a solution that works for them. Okay, so they like what you've built. It's interesting. I'm in the medical field, right? So technically, or the wellness field. How do they trust you? What is the time at which you will, invest in branding? What is the time at which you will invest in marketing? What is the time at which you will, say this work for 5 people like you, testimonials, recommendations, etc. All of these things you will focus on for this one group that I spoke of. And then you will remember, because we all have the attention span of a goldfish today. I'm scrolling on. I will see those testimonials in one carousel. I will move on. They say that you need to remind each user at least 7 times before they will even take action. So you need to remind them, you need to, engage in marketing. And great, so they bought from you, right? So then you need to engage with them. You need to ask them, you need to make them feel heard. It shouldn't be like, thanks, thank you for your money. Here's the solution, deal with it. So you will have power users, people who are very engaged with you. You will start a community for them. You will listen to what they have to say. You will, if they send a feedback form, you will actually act on it. You will say, thank you for your feedback, because you're still small. You're still focusing on a small group of people. So you will say, thank you for your feedback. You will then go back and iterate your product or pivot or diversify or scale or whatever based on what your users are saying. And if you keep the channel open like this, that's when you get from being a lean startup to a not so lean startup where you actually have some revenues to then invest and flow back. Now, if you say, how am I going to do all of this with just my boots or my bootstrap money or a small grant that I have received? There are a lot of free resources. I'm pretty sure you've heard of at least some of them. For example, if you're doing survey, you'll do survey on SurveyMonkey, or Typeform is even more amazing. There are a lot of free tools. If you're prototyping, there are so many prototype tools for you to, like do UI, UX, validation with users, etc. Now, right now, at least when I started up in 2020, it wasn't the trend. Right now in 2021, a lot of my friends who are starting up are doing this thing called no code, basically. So which is basically, they never built a product. They are running everything on one WhatsApp, one social handle, say, a website, and pretty much it. They're just building that solution through WhatsApp. I'll tell you of a company called Sova Health. So they offer blood test based nutrition guidance. They don't have a product. They have raised 2 rounds. They have raised their first institution round. They have no product. They have a website. They have a WhatsApp group with each customer. And what happens is the user will send a picture of their food. A nutritionist will see that. They will type out what your macros are. They will send a PDF back to the user. The user will understand. They will have consultation on Zoom. And everything is done without any product, no code. What is the advantage of doing something like this, to do something so lean? If something goes wrong, if I need to pivot, if I need to iterate, there is no cost associated with it. If you build a product, you are kind of boxed into that product, right? You cannot think outside the box because I've already built the box. Now will I go throw this box out and start afresh because I've put money into building this box, right? So you're limited in a sense. So this no code way of building your solution, maybe it's not applicable to everybody, but if it's applicable to your idea, it will give you a lot of freedom to listen to your users and act based on what they want you to do. So that's, basically the trend, when you can even build your product no code. And of course, easy to say, hard to do. You can get viral. There are influencers. These days, there are so many micro influencers who are also able to spread the word. What else? How else do you, launch lean, right? So you do something, you spread word of mouth, or you have a very quirky marketing campaign, which, for example, trends on social media. You start to do things that are related to your idea. For example, if you're talking about only periods, you won't only talk about periods all the time. It gets pretty boring, right? So you'll do related content. Maybe you will do a color color, color it red or something. We did for, recently we did something called a build your personal menstrual bracelet. Basically, how many good days and bad days did you have? So we made a bead for each of those days and we made it a bracelet. So it's your story, your menstrual story on a bracelet, and it helps to break the stigma around menstruation. So basically, if you tap into what's happening on social media right now, it gives you the opportunity to make your voice heard a little more. So you can launch in very viral, very cheap, zero cost ways. Till date, we have spent only on boosting social media posts. We've not spent anything else. We have 12,500 users as of this weekend. So yeah, so then, so there are very low cost ways of doing it. And our user retention is very simple. We have a community, we have a WhatsApp based community for our top users. So if they're very engaged with our solution, they automatically get added to the group. We are constantly talking to them, listening to what they have to say. Based on that, we're building the product. So all of this is great, right? So then what is the value of an idea, first of all, right? So we all have ideas. And if you've heard anything from me, the value of my first 2 ideas was zero because I did nothing about it. The whole point of a startup, right, is there is a reason why, for example, if you're pitching to an investor, your investor will not sign an NDA with you. Why? Because your idea means nothing. He's never going to do anything about it. He's not going to steal your idea, and he's not going to tomorrow go and launch a soup and salad cafe. That's never going to happen. His business is something else. His business is investing in startups, right? So an idea itself means nothing. How you execute, they will look at who are the founders, why you are the right person for the startup, what is the clarity of your vision, how well do you know this industry that you are talking about, is your family in this industry, how deeply have you studied it, how well have you done your customer validation, do you have a team, or how quickly can you grow your team to like the right kind of team, how positive you are, how resilient you are. One angel, basically one of the angels who invested in us, told me, I only look for one thing: you will never get your solution right. Nobody has, not even Facebook, right? You will have to have the positivity and the energy to go back again and again and again to the drawing board, and you should never give up, because my money is with you until you show me returns for my money. I want people who will never give up until they will show me returns on my money. That's what he told me. That makes a lot of sense, right? So as a founder, you set your own goals. You wake up, you don't know what you want to do tomorrow, right? You have to decide what it is that you need to do to get from step 1 to step 2 to step 3 to step 4. You need to have that self-motivation and that resilience to get up, think of a different idea, or basically think of a different solution to a problem that your business is facing. Go out there, try it. If it doesn't work, come back, try again. And that kind of resilience, and to be able to do that with your team. It's not just you, right? You can be positive, but you need to show that positive face to your team, to your social media person. It's okay if that post didn't get likes. Let's talk about something different. Let's figure out why our users didn't engage with that, right? To have that kind of positivity again and again. That's what makes the difference. That's what gives value to the idea and not the idea itself. That's pretty much it, guys. There's so much more, basically, what not to do. But in the interest of being positive, I won't tell you guys all of that right now. I'm going to open the floor to your questions now. Please roll.
Okay. Nandhini, that was like super fast, and you have covered almost the whole syllabus, like how you started and how you finished. And again and again, I'm telling my students, you can never get this in your syllabus copy, in your textbooks, in your lifetime in a book, because this is something called reality, all right? Textbook is in the page, but when you go to the field, you understand, right? Somebody from India went to Singapore and then started writing to people. And Nandhini, can you quickly tell a little bit about what are the internships opportunities you are looking and what you can give to these students, how they can, work with you. And yeah, there are a lot of girls here. They should actually think out something loud like this. Yeah. And it's not just for women. It's, anybody has to understand all this. And yeah, can you tell what are the opportunities available
Great.
To
Okay.
intern, not for the job. First to intern.
Great. Okay. So it's great that you mentioned internship, Sam, because right now I am looking for basically interns who will do a couple of things for me. One is social media is really hard, guys. It's really hard for one person to do it. I'm looking for somebody who can write content and also be like a Canva designer, right? I don't need any great Photoshop skills. I need somebody who can use Canva with some good eye for color and sense. So I need somebody who can do social media design and community management. One. Second one is I need somebody who can do customer research. Like I said, the right solution is never done. We are still iterating on our product. We are still trying to find the right solution. I need somebody who can, design a survey, who can, basically, if possible, run focus groups also. But definitely, at least, even if it is only within your campus or within your, the user base that you have within the various departments at college, I need people who can run those surveys and analyze those results and tell me what they are saying. This one is going to be one with a lot of freedom. I'm sorry, the social media project does not get as much freedom, but the customer research project will get a lot of freedom from me. I will give you only basic sketches. You're welcome to throw your ideas at me because I want to hear a fresh perspective here. So these are basically it. One is where there is a strict voice that we maintain, but you will get a lot of opportunity to learn about femtech, menstrual health. I'm involved in a number of communities, both in Singapore and in India, in menstrual health. You will get a chance to really get into the field and understand the field better. But I'm sorry, I will have to, it's very important for FEMCY to maintain a certain brand voice. So I will be working very closely with you. You'll learn a lot from me. The second one is where you will learn a lot about designing a survey. You will learn a lot about how to validate your own idea. If you have your own idea, you're welcome to come and, figure it out with me. That's the second one. So you decide if you're interested in the field, first one. If you're interested in practicing for your own idea in the future, second one.
Wow. Nandhini, please tell us, when you were a student, I still remember you and your gang of the Chennai, very calm, coming and going, studying MBA, and then now reality check. What is the difference, as a student life? And then you went on to ISB, and then now you're in the market. Just tell the students how much you need to be prepared, because the market is huge competition, I tell you. It's easy to read 2-3 pages and open internet, Google, and then write exam and pass. All right. When you go to the market on the street, right? Or I feel we should take the students to your place in Singapore and that Tamil world, that small mini Tamil world, put them there on the street in Singapore and then say, boss, start a business. What is the difference you saw as a student?
I never had to sell as a student, Sam, to be honest, right? It's a very, sorry guys, I know life is hard even as a student. It's not easy to get grades. You really have to sell your project to your professor. But the truth is, I learned so much as a student that I still don't have a chance to implement in real life, right? Because in real life, it's not like a Rajni song where you start from zero and you are Basha by the end of it. It takes a really long time to actually start to implement some of the things that I have learned. It's a great foundation. I know how to think analytically. I still use a lot of that. But for example, for social media and stuff, right, I have still barely scratched the surface. One. Second one is I learned a lot of things as a student. Many of those I will never use in my life again. Like ops management. Thank you, Vadivelu sir. But no, I don't think in my life I will ever do ops. If I do also, I will find somebody else who has gone down that rabbit hole. So in the end, you will sit on one small area of what you have learned and you will go deeper in that. And it will not be easy. It will be very
sports. Do you guys still remember anything? What was 11 years before?
I think some things, for example, survey design was, I think, one of the courses that we did. That I have actually gone back and looked at my notes still.
Wow.
I had, I made amazing notes, everybody, when I was in college. There is a difference. You will go back and look at it because someday when you really need it, you won't even remember the basics, and your notes will help you. If not, I know we have postback will help you. So keep those, don't throw them. That's my only word of advice.
Good, good, good. So your days way back in VIT, your friends, I still remember you guys used to work in teams and cases and presentations. How did all that help you as a student and now when you meet the industry?
Okay,
You remember
so
the
I
presentation
want to say,
activities?
yeah. I want to say, I think, Sam, you were one of the few professors who insisted that we used PowerPoints and who were talking to us a lot about, the quality of the slides that we present, even in those days. I remember, right? Like you can't read out from your slide, I think was one of the things that we learned in your classes only.
There has to be a power in the point, not in the power paragraph.
Exactly.
People paragraph in the PowerPoint. And then
I hope I'm still using some of that. Basically, my slides didn't have much words, if you will see in them. That really helps you guys, because those skills, if you're giving a presentation in class, that is 101 for pitching your startup today to investors, to sell an idea, to basically, if you're going to a corporate to present, those ideas will come out. Even in writing a social media post, if any of you guys are active on social media, you will know that if you're having more than 60% or 40% of word content on your social media, your account's quality score will get impacted. So the ability to, those skills get used in multiple different ways until you don't even realize that you learned it in college. But these foundation skills will come out again and again. So that's how the stuff that I learned in college still comes out, Sam. In many places where I don't even realize it, but yeah.
All right. So now let's just get into the students. Let us give them the chance. Okay, it's over to you guys. You guys can now open up. You can unmute yourself. You can ask questions. Yeah, over to you. Yeah, quick.
Or type it in the chat box and I'll take it from there.
Yeah, let me enable chat. Give me a second. Everyone. Okay, yeah. So you can quickly. I wish a lot of girls should get inspired by your startup and your app and all. Yeah. This is Ritika, Divya, a lot of people. Yeah, quick, come on.
And no sweat, guys. If you are not able to, okay, how can you apply? Reach out to me on LinkedIn, folks. Straight up, just reach out to me on LinkedIn. I am on LinkedIn 3 times a day. So I will.
Can you check the chat? There is somebody on the chat. They says, how can we apply for the internship?
Okay, I will send a detailed JD to you, Sam. And please just forward it out so they can read a little more about what exactly it entails. If they're still interested, if you are still interested, then you can reach out to me on LinkedIn. Yeah.
Wonderful. And I've given you a LinkedIn to them, everybody. You can just connect with you right now.
Awesome.
And yeah, you can get your JD is not anything, but it's a job description. Okay, Shubhankar, can you unmute yourself?
Okay. Let me answer.
Yes, sir.
I'm going to congratulate you, Shubhankar, for being from computer science background. I am not sure if that really means that you know how to code something, but I'm going to congratulate you because you already know a lot more than what I did, right? So basically, when I had an idea, I will say this, the first difficulty that I faced was I had no clue how to build an app. I was drawing how I wanted my screens to look on PowerPoint or basically Google Slides and showing them to somebody else, and they would build something completely different. And this despite my working in TCS for 4 years. So I know how a product requirement document looks, how a technical specification looks. Okay, I know how a product requirement document looks. I know how a tech guy will write the technical specifications based on that. And I fully know the challenges of, what comes in mind and what is built. There are so many memes about this. In my life, it was all true. So the first difficulty is translating your thoughts into something that actually works. And then you will realize that if I put this button and this button here, where will the user look, etc. So you will learn a lot of, basically things about getting your idea out. So that pretty much that. So basically getting the prototype out itself took us the better part of a year. It took us 9 months to be exact. First difficulty. Second difficulty is social media, unless you are putting the money behind boosting to go viral, is so difficult, right? So
Yeah.
that was the second difficulty. To reach out and get our voice heard, again, took us around 6 months to get there. And that's all. We haven't still scaled and all. We still have long way to go before we can scale. So that's pretty much it. But you already have one step better than me because you can create your idea, hopefully, if it is a computer-based idea already. So congrats there. And
Ma'am, another doubt on it, adding on it, like when you started the startup, how much percentage of your money you had to invest on this particular technical department for for the startup?
okay.
And how important you feel is that in your startup, like how much importance it takes?
Okay. You can get, even for somebody like me, if you find the right person, hopefully if I had found someone like you then. So if you have access to a full stack developer or between you and your friends, you can probably build it for, there are lots of places where you can get free credits for cloud, etc. Right? I think your college might offer you some. If you guys have heard of something called Entrepreneury, which is basically Amitabh Bachchan's granddaughter, Naveli Nanda. So she basically runs this group called Entrepreneury. If you simply join, they will give you $1,000 worth of AWS credits. I know that Microsoft has a similar program. Google Startup has a similar program. So you will get access to credits for free. And for us, it cost us around 4,000 to 6,000 Singapore dollars. What is that in Indian rupees? Into 50, guys. So into 50, so around 20,000, 200,000. Sorry, my maths is weak. Yeah, around 2 lakhs to 6 lakhs. Yeah. It costs to build an app, even if you know nothing about it, right? So, and it really depends on your idea. Again, I will say this. You can do many ideas, no code. Just get creative. Look out there. There are n number of solutions that you can use on the free tier. Okay, I don't know if you guys can see this, but I will show you. This is my list of free resources that I have. Where is it? Bootstrapping resources. Here it is, guys. And if anybody is legit serious, if you have built a business plan if you have built a business plan, you will show it to me. I will give you this list for free. This is my giant ass list of completely free resources, everything from stock photos to creating presentation, to create your own GIFs, to, videos. We made our own demo video, fully free. I use Canva, like I already told you, SEO optimization, UI UX design, email, you name it, whatever. I have a big list of resources that we can all use. Happy to share it to you. So it doesn't have to cost much money. You can do it for less than we did. You can do it for zero money also. I mean, assume honestly that you will need something to the tune of 10,000 rupees to basically start a website and, like to do some promotions, etc. But it's up to you. It's up to your idea. That's it. I'm going to jump. There are a lot of questions. So I'm going to, let's chat again on LinkedIn, Shubhankar, if you have more questions. Okay. So then.
Sure, ma'am.
Okay. Sushant. Okay. Okay. What is your goal when you're starting a startup? Okay. Different people have different goals now. So some people will say, I want to become a millionaire. That is my goal, making money. Thank you very much. Other people who will be like me and they will say, money is okay, whatever. I am here to solve an idea, right? I'm here to. There is a book that I read recently. I don't know if everybody will be interested in it, but if you are a woman, you will really, really resonate with this book. It's called Invisible Women. It's written by this woman called Carolyn Criado Perez. So basically, you will learn about how little research is done historically into women's health and into the problems of basically women. How bus systems, how office hours, everything is designed based on, the world of men. So that was my problem, right? That women have so many issues, and especially menstruating women have so many issues. Did you know that when they do clinical trials, they will say men or women who are after menstruating age? So basically menopausal women, because hormones can impede the results of their study, because women are cyclical beings. What happens in the start of your period and the end of your period, you are not the same person. You are very, very different people, from your mind to your digestion to your sleep to your hormones. So they don't want to touch. There is no research done. I want to solve that. I started because I had that kind of goal. That's why I started. And okay, Abhijit, what are the difficulties scaled while scaling up India, where problem related to menstruation women face it? Yeah, so nobody wants to talk about it. We are not alone in this. Luckily, there are startups coming. You can find a startup coming out every single day in this area. It is the biggest trend of 2021. Femtech, there's a lot of investment happening in the space. There are a lot of startups coming out in the space, be it PCOS, be it pregnancy health, you name it, and there are not just startups, there are also like NGOs and doctors who are coming and becoming active on social media. If you've heard of Dr. Cuterus, she is somebody who puts out a lot of content and tries to break a lot of stigmas around this area. So I'm not alone. A lot of people are coming out to share it openly. The difficulty though is to reach the people who matter. It is always us, the people who are active on social media, the educated segment, who are talking about this. What about the people in, I don't know, Ghaziabad, the people in Madurai? What about us, right? Are those people also hearing? Are people who speak Tamil, Hindi, Marathi, Gujarati, are these people also getting the message? That's the question. And that's the problem where, to reach those people, and it costs some money to give them a service, right? To get them to pay up for that service. These are the problems those are the difficulties that we are facing. That's the difficulty that pretty much every business in India faces. That's our problem.
Sure. So Nandhini, I'm very excited that students are going on asking questions. What we'll do is we'll pile up all this, because I know it's almost 10 for you. It's late. You're in Singapore and it's okay for us now. I wish that, all that you told, your LinkedIn is there. I want people to directly communicate or write to me. We'll connect you. We'll figure out what you guys can do. And so much, you see how a VIT student. So I wish that in next 2 to 3 years, if you can have 10 to 15 Nandhinis like that in a Femtech, how many resources she is telling. I made a note of the list of the book. I immediately searched, I put it on the chat. I know I'm going to buy it and read it, So some learning has to happen like this. So Nandhini, thank you so much. I know it's too late for you in Singapore, right? It was wonderful. Can somebody quickly give vote of thanks? And after this, I've already sent you a poster by Indian Foreign Services, right? In the US, that's a separate Zoom link ID, because it's in the morning for them and it's evening for us. It's done by Vita Atlanta, and I'll be there. I'll be giving the talk at the end, but yeah, if anybody's interested in
Sir, shall I?
IAS officers and all that, you have to join after this meeting in the separate Zoom link, which is given in your WhatsApp. I gave the code, I gave the poster, everything. Okay, that's about services, administrative services, foreign services, whatever. So good, Shubhankar, would you quickly give a word of thanks, please, to Nandhini? Yeah.
It was a great experience with you, ma'am. Your experience had improvised our learning a lot, and it's very, very valuable because we do not get it in any of the books or not even the market. A lot of analysis goes into it, and I would definitely like to reach out to you and get some more innovative ideas. And you are a sort of inspiration to all of us. And thank you for attending this meeting, ma'am. It's a great pleasure to have you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys. It was a pleasure speaking to you all. Great questions. And thank you, Sam. Thank you for your time.
Wonderful, Nandhini. So proud of you. I'm sure some of these kids will be there with you. We want to see you go places and make women's life a wonderful place. And maybe people should remember you in the future. And so proud of you. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Thank you, Sam. Thank you for getting me here now. Thank you so much.
Oh, yeah. Always a pleasure. Yeah. Thank you all. Okay.